Building peace in the community. Does everybody have that paper? Everybody's got one? Good, good, good. Now. Let's try to understand what that means. Building peace in the community. First and foremost, in order to help build peace in the community. Now, what is a community? Sure. Yes, that is true. Yes. I'm sorry, you'll have to speak up. Okay. Well, one would hope. But it's a group of people, fundamentally. Whether we live in harmony and peace is another story. Yes. Okay, yes. Now, let's think about this just a second. A group of people. What is a group of people? Your family, that's a group of people, right? When you gather with your friends, that's a group of people. Yes? Yes, you can have a group of people at work. That's also true. Yes?
Community is also called where other can share their thoughts or discuss about something on the particular topic.
That's true. A group of people that has a common basis for discussion and talking and making decisions. But there's this big but in there. The big but is you cannot have peace within a community unless individuals are peaceful. In this case, it's you. If you are with a group of people, you must be able to contribute to that peaceful interaction with others. Of course, others have their place and peace in helping to create that. But firstly, we must be peaceful within ourselves. That's number one. In other words, the buck stops here. It all starts here with us. If we are not peaceful, how can we hope to contribute to peacefulness in anything? Whether it's a family, or our town, or it's school. So if I were you, I would write this down. Building peace in the community starts with me. I, firstly, must be peaceful in order that the community may benefit, and I will benefit. So please write that down. Now, how do I become peaceful? Okay, there's two parts. As we talk every day, that meditation helps to quiet us down, helps to begin slowing the mind down, helps to relax the body. These are words that simply indicate that we are getting more peaceful. Now, peaceful, what does that mean? I mean, is it like a cake? Do you get a bigger slice, or it tastes good? But being peaceful means that you're centered. Write this down. You are centered. You have no conflicting thoughts or feelings, whether it's in the body or the mind. These are aspects, parts of being peaceful. The interesting thing is that when we are peaceful, we radiate or we transmit that to everyone and everything around us. So part of being at peace and contributing to a peaceful community is how that peace spreads from us like ripples in a pond. That if we are peaceful, it's like dropping a stone in, and that peace radiates out in ripples, affecting everyone around us. Do you understand that? Because being peaceful is subtle. It's not like accomplishing an outside goal. It's not like winning in a cricket match or football. It's something that's delicate, unseen, but felt. Peace is unseen, but felt. That feeling helps to calm the waters of the mind, helps to calm the waters of the body. And in that calmness, what is there with that peacefulness is happiness. Think about it. If we are happy just because we got a new thing, a new suit, a new game, a new toy, whatever, that happiness is temporary, isn't it? Soon, that happiness diminishes. We become used to that thing. And its value for happiness diminishes, decreases. So obviously, it's not permanent. And it goes away. So then we start looking for the next thing that will give us that happy feeling, that joyful feeling. What's the next rush that I can get? Yeah? And oftentimes that can be destructive rather than constructive. So what would be ideal is to have within us the kind of peace that does not come from outside. Does not come from outside. Because if it comes from within ourselves, then nothing from the outside can take it away. It's ours, and ours alone. Please try and remember this, that happiness and peace, the reality, the truth of it is, it comes from within you. If you are not happy and not peaceful, what does this mean? Well, usually, now this is a broad statement, but usually it means that we are holding on to something that we're not meant to hold on to. Let's say we have a friend, and they've been a friend for many years, and all of a sudden they ignore us, or all of a sudden they do something that's hurtful to us. We're still going to try to hold on to that relationship because it was comfortable. It gave you some sense of happiness. But it has outlived its usefulness in your life. But still, we want to hold on. the best way to get rid of that suffering, that anxiety, is to realize that that particular relationship or that thing has outlived its usefulness in your life, and you let it go. Not with any anger or not be stubborn about it, but just realizing that it's past its useful time in our lives. You can remember just this one thing. You will form the foundation of a peaceful and joyful life. Because we only get sad or upset when we are holding on to something that is no longer needed in our life. We're holding on to it. Learn the art of letting go. And it is an art. It's a conscious letting go of a particular pattern of thought and sometimes behavior. A particular pattern of thought or behavior in our life. If we can learn the art of letting go, then there is no place for sorrow to hide. It's an amazing concept. It's fully explained in the Gita. Fully explained. So, the other aspect of something having outlived its usefulness in our life is being attached to something. Being attached to it. Desiring something is not the problem. The expectation that that desire be fulfilled is the problem. I'll say that again. Desire in and of itself is not the problem. Expectation that that desire be fulfilled the way you believe it should is the problem. So, when we want something, whether it's a person, place, or thing, we may or we may not get it. Try to have a neutral attitude, not attached to the outcome of whether it is fulfilled or not. Again, this is said in the Gita. I wish I would have brought my copy up here. I always keep a copy with me because it contains great wisdom. And when I get confused, there's usually something in there that I find that is helpful. But attachment's the problem. Expectation is the problem, not desire. Desire is not the problem, that's just a thought. But the emotional investment we have in the outcome, the expectation that it be fulfilled, is the problem. So, if you're ever in a situation where you're sad or angry, frustrated, look inside yourself. What are you holding on to? What are you expecting to happen? It may be a friendship, for example, where we're really kind and nice and all this, right? Flowers, but we are going to be expecting that we be treated that way in return, don't we? It's a natural human emotion. But that expectation are the seeds of suffering. Write it down. This one you can't not do it. Write it down. Expectation, attachment are the seeds of suffering. If we want to build peace in the community, between our friends, our parents, whatever group that we interact with, have no expectations of how they should treat you. Because they may not. What are you going to do? Get all angry and frustrated and yell and scream? That's a waste of energy and just drives you further into the illusion. It drives you further into the illusion. So, as I said, desiring is not the problem. It's just a thought. But the attachment to the outcome of that desire, the expectation that that desire be fulfilled in a certain way, that's the problem. Look within yourself. See what your expectations are. See what your attachments are. If you have an attachment to something or an emotional investment in outcome, that's another good one. Write this down. If you have an emotional investment in the outcome of an action, know that you are setting yourself up for a very vicious fall. Look within yourself. Find where that seed, that expectation, that attachment resides. You'll find it usually in the form of a thought, an image, doesn't matter. But it'll have a characteristic. And that characteristic is when you put your attention on it, you'll feel a pinch. You'll feel a pinch. And when you feel that pinch, there's where the blockage is. There's where you're stuck. Look at it. Bring it out into the light. Don't hide from it. And then let it go. And it's not going to work overnight. So, unwinding attachment and expectation does not happen overnight. Write it down. Write it down. We've spent a lifetime implanting these expectations, assumptions in our minds. And some of them are very deep. And they're going to express themselves as a thought. To that thought, there is an emotion attached to it. Whether it's sadness, frustration, anger, whenever those three emotions come up, it means you're stuck somewhere. Real simple. Knowing that doesn't mean that it's easy to stop it. It just means at least you can identify it. So the first part of removing attachment and expectation is identify where it resides within us. Become aware of where we are stuck. 50% or more of the battle is won. When you have the honesty, the integrity to clinically examine yourself as if you were a doctor diagnosing an illness in a patient. No emotion to it, just fact. Where does the illness reside? Where does it reside? And when you examine it, when you feel that pinch of sadness or frustration or anger, that is the emotional, the energetic load attached to that particular thought or idea. The stronger that feeling, that shows how much energy you have invested in that thought, whether it's a relationship, a thing, an idea. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that bit of energy that we have created within us at a subtle level of the mind is blocking our happiness, blocking our peace. So, what do? Since we have spent a lifetime of dumping energy into this particular thought, idea, expectation, attachment, it ain't going to just magically disappear just because we say, oh, there it is. You know, it comes up, right? Now we've seen it, and it will manifest itself in the mind as a thought, a picture, some pattern of energy. What's happening is some of the energy that makes that pattern what it is being expressed as that thought, that feeling. Usually what we do is we look at it and we look at it, right? Thinking it'll change or thinking we'll get what we want, when in reality, what we are doing is giving it more fuel. We're giving it more fuel to maintain its existence within us. Because your attention, now listen, your attention is consciousness. That's what attention means. You're moving your awareness from a general space to a very specific thought within the mind. When you do that, it's like putting the hose gas pump into the car and filling it with fuel. Because your attention, your awareness, is the source of all energy within the universe. And when you consciously hook that up, that thought, that feeling, to that source of all energy, all you're doing is reinforcing it. You're making it harder to get rid of. Okay? So now we understand the mechanism of refueling our own illness, of not just allowing it to be, but actually making it stronger. Now, if you're paying attention to this, there are going to be times when this could save your life. Trust me, I know. So what do? We move our attention, we shift it from that thought, sensation, idea to something else. It doesn't matter what it is, something neutral that doesn't have that pinch when our attention goes to it. It could be a soccer game, it could be a prayer. I usually try to use that. That helps me out because it doesn't have any bad loading to it. A prayer is always a good thing. A song, music, anything. Just shift your attention away from this. That is the letting go part. You're moving your attention from the thing that's got the pinch associated to it to something which does not. Do you understand? This is very important. Now, what's happening? That thought's going to come up again. The one that causes the pinch. We spend a lifetime or years fueling it up. Somehow, we've got to drain the tank. Somehow, we've got to drain the tank associated with that thought or feeling, expectation, whatever it happens to be. attachment. Shift our attention. That's letting go. Letting go of this in favor of something which does not cause the pinch. All right? Now, it will come up again. And it could be, I mean, I've had it happen where in a 10-minute period, maybe that thought bubbled up 30 times. Okay? It just kept coming up. But as it came up, I kept shifting my attention to something else. Shift my attention, something else. What is happening? What is happening is every time there is motion, and listen carefully, this is one of the truths of the universe. Ain't mine, but it's true nonetheless. Every time a thought comes up, energy is necessary for that movement. Energy is necessary for that shifting around that creates a thought. If we do not put the fuel hose in the tank, then that energy associated with that particular thought formation is lost. And every time that particular pattern of thought comes up and we move our attention somewhere else, we move our attention, no matter how many times it takes, little by little, that energy dissipates because we're not feeding it. This is an important concept to understand. Everything in the universe is made of energy. Every formation of energy has a limited life because it's in form. All form has a limited time of existence. We want to make sure that these forms that are destructive, sad, anger, we want to make sure that they consume themselves as quickly as possible. Now, what is the outcome? What is the outcome if we keep letting go? And this energetic form, as it's projecting itself into the conscious mind from the subconscious, it loses some energy. It has to. It's movement. All movement takes energy. All movement. Over time, the tank drains. Over time, that pattern dissolves. And there comes a time when the thought will not appear again. Not because you're trying to stop it from being there, simply it ran out of gas. And what that means in terms of a thought form is it dissolves. In the yogic culture, it's called a samskara. A samskara. A bundle of energy. Okay? That's stuck in the subconscious. It's these bundles of energy that have the karmic implications when they were created that are natural to creation. It's just the way it works. And in order to live in freedom, in order to live in happiness, which we then radiate around us to our family, our friends, our community, we want these blockages, these sanskaras, to resolve themselves, to dissolve. And the beauty of this is you really don't have to work that hard at it. You just shift your attention. There's a story from the American Indians in the U.S. There was a young warrior. He went to his local shaman, guru, Indian terms. And he tells the shaman, I keep having this reoccurring dream. There's these two wolves, a white wolf and a black wolf. Both look equally strong, both powerful. He said to the shaman, which one is going to win? I don't know. How do I know if the white wolf will win? Or maybe, not so good, the black wolf. How will I know? And the shaman looks at him and he simply says, it's the one that you feed. The one that you feed. That's the one that lives. That's the one that will dominate your life. So do you see the parallel between that story and these sanskaras within the mind? What will win is what you feed. Where do you put the hose in the gas tank? Which tank? Do you put it in the tank of the black wolf? Or do you move to the white wolf? To peace, to goodness, to happiness. That requires no fuel, actually. It's already there. But what's most important is you don't put it in the tank of the thing that's causing the problem. Then you're feeding it, not allowing its natural ability to expend itself, to dissipate and disappear. You do this little thing, I guarantee you, on my honor, that it works. But you've got to work at it. We're too used to being attached or thinking in a way that puts the hose in the tank of the thing that's basically causing the pinch. You've got to get away from that. Move your attention elsewhere. I don't care if you have to sing yourself a song, but just move your attention. That pattern will begin losing its energy. It might take a while. No instant pudding here. We've spent a lifetime, right, pouring gas into the tank of the wrong stuff. Not all, but a lot of it, unfortunately. So, if you want to live a happy and peaceful life, if you want to enhance the peace of your community, your family, your friends, your nation, you must start with yourself. You must start with yourself. Only then can you hope to have a chance at having a more peaceful, happy life. Because if you attach your happiness to things like money, fame, success, material things, you're in trouble. Those things will only make you happy very temporarily, very short time. And often, instead of happiness, pain can be the outcome. A brief moment of happiness and a truckload of pain. Listen up, kids. This is the straight scoop. This is the truth. Any questions? Do you understand the principles, the concepts, the things that I'm saying? Okay, CK Matt.